The day my father won the lottery, my brother was diagnosed with cancer, but my whole family mistakenly thought it was me. They refused to pay for treatment. If we spend this money on your medical bills, your brother will be a bachelor for life. If you insist on using the money to prolong your own life, do you expect our family to live on air? My brother even said directly. Sis, don't be so selfish. Getting cancer is fate, you're doomed to die anyway. I stared at them blankly, then suddenly smiled. Fine, I won't get treatment. Clutching the medical report, my face was deathly pale. I couldn't believe it. My brother, so young and healthy, had been diagnosed with a rare cancer and had only 6 months to live. My voice trembled as I asked the doctor. If we treat this, how much will it cost? He said, at least $500,000 for one course of treatment. To cure it, $5 million would be the safest bet. My legs went weak. $5 million. The total annual income of my entire family wasn't even 1/10 of that. Thunder rumbled in the sky. Sitting in the hospital corridor, I thought for a long time, but finally made up my mind. After all, he was my brother, whom I had watched grow up. Crowdfunding, selling the house and car, borrowing from everywhere, working multiple part-time jobs no matter how hard it was. However I had to scrape it together, would scrape together the money to save his life. With a heavy heart, I went home. As soon as I walked in, I saw my brother Chen Tianrui lounging on the sofa with his legs crossed, leisurely scrolling through his phone. I called him over. I took the report out of my bag and handed it to him, just about to comfort him. Don't be afraid, sis will find a way to get the money to save your life. But before I could, he took the report, saw my pale face, and immediately jumped back 3 meters. Holy shit, you've got cancer? Is it contagious? Stay away from me. That comforting sentence got stuck in my throat. Looking at the report, I understood. On the way home, my bag had gotten soaked in the rain. My cheap, 9.9 yuan bag had low-quality dye that ran when wet. As luck would have it, it smudged the personal information section of the report beyond recognition. Coupled with my pale complexion, my brother naturally assumed I was the one with cancer. What's all the shouting about? My mother was attracted by my brother's yelling. Soon, she also learned the news of my cancer and wailed incessantly. What a curse! We raised you so big, and now you're going to die before you even get married. I wanted to explain it was a misunderstanding. But her words made me uncomfortable. Her own daughter was dying of cancer, and she only regretted that I wasn't married yet? What kind of mother is that? I pursed my lips, calmed my emotions, and was about to tell the truth. After all, this misunderstanding was a matter of life and death, not a small thing. Just as I was about to explain, suddenly there was a loud bang as the door was kicked open. Damn it! After buying lottery tickets for over 30 years, I finally won. My father was waving a lottery ticket, shouting that he had won. And after taxes, it was a full 5 million. The surprise was too sudden. My mother and brother took a while to recover before happily crowding around my father. God has opened his eyes. With this money, our Tianrui can marry any wife he wants. Holy shit, 5 million. From now on, I'm wearing Armani and picking up chicks in a Porsche. My eyes also lit up. This lottery win came at just the right time. Now our family has the money for treatment. Unexpectedly, as soon as I said this, the expressions of the 3 of them changed. After my mother finished explaining the situation, my father earnestly advised me. Daughter, cancer treatment is a bottomless pit. You throw money in, and the person might not even survive. Be sensible and save the money for the family's important matters. You're already halfway in the grave, don't drag the whole family down. I was stunned. So, treating my illness wasn't considered an important matter? What was, then? Soon, my mother chimed in. Your brother is 30 this year. You're his sister. If this money is used for your treatment, he'll be a bachelor for life. Our family line will end because of you. How can your father and I face our ancestors down there? My heart ached, and I understood. My brother finding a wife was more important than my life. When my brother heard that I wanted to use the lottery money for treatment, he immediately got anxious and didn't hesitate to curse me out. Chen Huaner, Mom and Dad raised you so well. Can you stop being so selfish? Dad's been buying lottery tickets for over 30 years and finally wins big once. Now you insist on using this money to prolong your own life. Do you want the whole family to live on air? Bombarded by their accusations one after another. I couldn't believe it and felt deeply wronged. Since I was little, I knew my parents favored my brother. When we were kids, the tenderest part of the fish belly was always reserved for my brother. My parents always said that part nourished the brain for boys, but made girls think too much. Not giving it to me was for my own good. When the family occasionally stewed ginseng, and I wanted some, they'd say ginseng boosts yang, and girls are eating it would bring bad luck to their future husband. Then they'd push the tonic soup in front of my brother. Back then, I naively believed them. I thought being a girl was really tiring, with so many restrictions. Only when I grew up did I realize it was all just excuses for their favoritism. Despite this, I always thought they had some feelings for me. How could parents not love their own child? Even if they didn't dote on me, if they were willing to give me just a little love, I would tell them the truth. So, I didn't give up. I humbly tested the waters. Not the whole 5 million, just 500,000 for treatment, okay? Seeing their persuasion fail, my parents' faces darkened. My mother cried out about heaven's injustice. What a curse! Why did I give birth to such a debt collector? It cost me 100,000 to raise her, and now she dares to ask for 500,000. My father's spit flew right into my face. You really dare to ask for such a huge sum? You've got cancer and can't get married, fine, but now you want to suck your brother's blood? Shameless. Seeing me still eyeing the lottery money, my brother got angry. He rushed straight over and suddenly slapped me twice. You selfish bitch. If you dare drag the whole family down by using that money for treatment, I'll scatter your ashes on the street. My cheek stung with pain. But no matter how much it hurt, it couldn't compare to the pain in my heart. With red-rimmed eyes, I scanned the 3 people in front of me, finally fixing my gaze on my brother. Fine. I won't get treatment. They were satisfied with my compromise, smug smiles on their lips. I suddenly smiled too. Getting sick is fate. If I'm meant to die, then I'll die. Back in my room, tears streamed down my face. Outside, however, there was nothing but joy. The 3 of them happily discussed going out for a nice meal to celebrate. Before leaving, my brother suddenly thought of me and asked my parents. Should we call Sis? My mother curled her lip impatiently. There's instant noodles at home. She has cancer, not a broken leg. If she's really hungry, she can make some herself. My father waved his hand. Look at her, sick and dying, all miserable. She'd just ruin the mood and bring bad luck. Forget about her. We'll eat well ourselves. Yeah, we're rich now. We don't need her to pay any more. My brother thought of the past and said with a scornful laugh. Finally, we can eat something good. The crap she used to treat us to with those pathetic wages of hers, I couldn't even be bothered to complain. My heart trembled. I used to stretch every single dollar. A 200 yuan bag sat in my shopping cart for 3 years, and I couldn't bear to buy it. Just to save every penny for household expenses to give to my parents. They'd narrow their eyes and praise me. Wasn't a waste raising you. You're such a good daughter. My brother would pester me to take them out to eat. The dinner table would be lively and warm. I really thought those were our family's happy moments. I never imagined I was just fooling myself. With nothing to gain from me, they immediately showed their true colors. I could still cry just moments ago, but now my tears were dry, leaving only hatred. Why should I tolerate this? I've given in for over 20 years, been a pushover for over 20 years. You won't give me a single cent of the 5 million, right? Then I'll take it all. Using the excuse of illness, I took a long leave from work. My supervisor, being considerate, drove me home. The moment my brother saw Meng Sun, who had dropped me off, his eyes went wide. He immediately clung to me, desperately asking for everything about Meng Sun. As I climbed the stairs, I glanced at him a few times and advised him to forget it. She's the heiress of a conglomerate, slumming it to experience real life. Her standards are sky high. Don't dream about it, you don't stand a chance. Bullshit. My brother didn't believe it. Panting heavily, he vowed. She winked at me when she got out of the car. Didn't you see? He didn't even notice that just climbing 3 flights of stairs left him drenched in sweat and gasping for air. To me, a man's intuition says she's definitely into me. He wouldn't give up and was extremely confident. Annoyed by his pestering, I forwarded her contact info to him. Unexpectedly, in just 2 weeks, Meng Sun, this supposed heiress, actually agreed to meet him. The date was at a French restaurant Meng Sun had chosen, a very upscale place. My brother, newly rich, dressed up pretty sharp. But when he opened the menu, he was so shocked he coughed several times, his face turning ugly. He tapped on his phone and loudly called the waiter over. Hey, why doesn't your place have any group buying deals? The waiter was stunned, then awkwardly chose his words. Group buying promotions don't really fit our restaurant's image. My brother immediately put on a "let me teach you" attitude. What do you know? As the saying goes, good wine needs no bush. But if you don't run promotions to build your reputation, how will anyone know about your place? The waiter kept apologizing with a smile. Nearby customers also eavesdropped, some stifling laughs, some looking disdainful. But Meng Sun's eyes lit up, and she looked at my brother admiringly. Wow, you have such a great business sense. You're so different from other men. The surrounding customers' eyes twitched wildly. It was like they were thinking, incel and lovesick fool, a match made in heaven. In an inconspicuous corner, my phone pinged with a message from Meng Sun. My dear bestie, you owe me big time for this. Our company's president doesn't have a daughter. Meng Sun is just like me. Just an ordinary office worker from a poor family with parents who favor sons over daughters. But she's more open-minded than me. She cut ties with her parasitic birth family long ago. She has good natural features and is great with makeup. After doing her makeup, she has quite the heiress vibe. We've always been close. So I asked her to play along in this act. See? My charm is boundless. Any girl I want, I get. As soon as my brother got home, he shoved a picture of their dinner date in my face. Pretending to be sick, I coughed a few times and acted surprised. Oh my God, really? Meng Sun is the only heiress of our company's president. If she falls for you and marries you, the whole company might even be yours. What's winning 5 million in the lottery compared to that? Her family's assets are conservatively in the billions. Whoever marries her skyrockets to the top. My parents, lounging on the sofa, also perked up when they heard this. Seeing this, I changed my tone. Besides, she's quite unique. She doesn't care about rich or poor. She just wants a man who will treat her with all his heart. My parents slapped their thighs with joy. Treat her with all his heart? That's our Tianrui, isn't it? My mother, who had ignored me since learning I had cancer, suddenly asked me affectionately. Daughter, you interact with her a lot. Give your brother some advice. Any way he can win her over and make her your sister-in-law? My father chimed in, pretending to be loving. Yeah, if this works out, you'll benefit too. Maybe your future sister-in-law will wave her hand and offer to pay for your treatment. I patted my head, pretending to think, and agreed. Then I pretended to tell them. Mang Sun recently fell for a jewelry necklace. But because she's being pressured to marry, she had a fight with her dad and doesn't have enough money to buy it. She really loves that necklace. Once, after drinking, she even joked that whoever buys it for her, she'll marry him. I vowed to them. Her birthday is coming up. If you give her this, she'll definitely fall for you. My brother was thrilled until he saw the price of the necklace, then he exploded. Holy shit, what kind of necklace costs over $1 million? My parents also shrank back in fear. No way, no way. If we give this and it doesn't work out, our family will be skinned alive. Not necessarily. I shook my head, lowered my voice, and pretended to be mysterious. Mang Sun is proud. She doesn't like owing people. If they break up, she'd return the gift, wanting things to be completely even. Hearing this, the three of them huddled together and whispered for a long time. Finally, they made up their minds and gritted their teeth. Sounds like a surefire deal. I think it's worth a try. As the old saying goes, you have to risk a child to catch a wolf. Let's buy it. It's okay, Mom and Dad. If it doesn't work out, I'll just make a scene and demand it back. Someone rich like her cares most about face. She wouldn't dare refuse. On Mang Sun's birthday, my brother dressed up nicely and went. The moment he took out the necklace and put it on her, she beamed. Oh my God, you understand me so well. I'm so touched. My brother seized the moment to confess, and Mang Sun pretended to be shy, lowering her eyes, before coyly agreeing. When my parents found out, they couldn't stop grinning, praising my brother. My seed really amounts to something. Can easily bag any woman. Yeah, so what if she's an heiress driving a sports car and wearing a watch? Once she marries into our family, she'll have to serve us obediently anyway. Meanwhile, I was in my room, looking at the 7-figure transfer notification, also unable to stop grinning. The three people outside would never know. The auction-grade jewelry necklace they had gritted their teeth to buy was just some Iwu knockoff I bought on Pinduoduo. And that, private collector forced to part with a treasured item due to unforeseen circumstances? Just a dummy account I set up with minimal effort. Staring at that 7-figure balance, I was incredibly excited. Since I was a child, my parents loved to cry poverty in front of me. It made me afraid to spend money. Buying anything slightly expensive filled me with immense guilt. But from now on, I only wanted to be good to myself. I threw away my cheap Taobao clothes and bought myself a decent outfit. Indeed, clothes make the man. Standing in front of the mirror, I looked so radiant I hardly recognized myself. The familiar face lurking in the corner couldn't believe it either. So what they said is true. Your family won the lottery? Su Xiangyang had been secretly observing me for a while before incredulously moving closer. A faint smile played on my lips, but there was no warmth in it. He was my college classmate. We dated for 7 years. In the throes of love, we made vows, and he swore I was the only one for him. But when it came time to discuss marriage, he secretly went on blind dates arranged by his family. He complained to his mother privately, resenting my family background. Her family is poor and she has a brother. She's fine for fun, but for marriage, I need to find an only daughter. The decisiveness of that breakup back then only highlighted the irony of the fawning look in his eyes now. The night of our chance encounter. This man, who during our relationship insisted on splitting even a 4 yuan ice cream, suddenly sent me a 520 yuan red envelope with a sweet message. Error, I've missed you so much all these years. After that day, he clung to me like a disgusting pest. Men are all alike. My brother was confident the heiress was madly in love with him. Su Xiangyang was confident that, even after years apart, I still couldn't forget him. He thought that with a little insincere flirtation, I'd come crawling back like a dog. I played along, responding enthusiastically. Actually, I haven't been able to forget you either. Meng Sun saw this and her eyes went wide. It's obvious he's after your family's lottery money, and you're giving him a second chance. But I just looked like I was settling in to watch a good show. Since he wants to walk right into the line of fire, I'll help him do it. We kept the act going for 3 months. My brother and Meng Sun finally started discussing marriage. Yes, the progress was a bit fast. But if it didn't speed up, I was afraid he'd die of his illness halfway through. His body was visibly getting thinner. But the fool didn't notice at all and even boasted. I'm just gifted. The more I eat, the thinner I get. On the day they were supposed to meet the family. Given the vast disparity in their family backgrounds, Meng Sun's wealthy father naturally wasn't friendly towards my brother's family. Honestly, I don't think much of you, but Xuan likes you, so I'll give you a chance. Her father slapped 500,000 yuan in cash down in front of my brother. He said the company was planning to venture into the jewelry sector. Coincidentally, there was a rough jadeite stone from Myanmar available. The cut window showed what looked like glass-grade imperial green, and competitors were all circling it. If you can secure this stone, I'll agree to you marrying Xuan. He gave my brother 2 choices. First, get the stone, marry the beautiful heiress, take over the company's jewelry division, and reach the pinnacle of your career. Second, take the 500,000 on the table and get lost, and stop bothering Meng Sun. Having already invested so much, sunk cost, he was naturally inclined to gamble big. As expected, my brother chose the first option. But he would never have guessed that this was just a setup I had orchestrated for him. Even the so-called rich father opposite him was just a random extra I'd hired from the movie studio. I even deliberately tried to warn him. Be careful. Could this be a scam? My brother laughed as if he'd heard a joke. Hilarious. What kind of scammer just hands you 500,000 for free? Sis, you're just too. That's why you'll be poor your whole life. He lounged with his legs crossed, already dreaming of marrying the heiress. Besides, Meng Sun wants to marry me so badly. A little stone like that, she'll definitely help me get it. Meng Sun did as he wished, using her connections to secure priority purchasing rights. The love-struck heiress even paid the deposit out of her own pocket. When my brother wanted more, she blinked her eyes pitifully. Darling, I live paycheck to paycheck. I have no savings. I already put all my available cash into the deposit. I can't very well ask my dad for more, can I? My brother didn't dare push further. He thought about it. The lottery money plus the family's savings over the years should be enough to cover the rest. After all, his obedient sister had worn the same 30 yuan pants for years without replacing them. The money she scrimped and saved every month and handed over to their mother must have added up to 500,000 or 600,000 by now, right? But when his parents pulled out the accounting book and even included the value of their apartment, they were still worried. What a curse! How is it so precise? It's like they knew exactly how much money we have. No matter how we add it up, we're still short 500,000. Damn! Where are we supposed to get 500,000 in such a short time? We couldn't even sell that girl off fast enough. Just then, footsteps were heard on the stairs. They looked at Su Xiangyang, who had walked me home, and exchanged knowing smiles. After Su Xiangyang left, my mother got straight to the point. Daughter, does Xiao Yang know about your cancer? I shook my head, putting on a sad face. No. I couldn't bear to tell him. A flash of barely concealed glee crossed my mother's eyes, and my father's too. My father immediately waved his hand as if giving an order. Good. Before you die, hurry up and marry him. I quickly waved my hands, feigning ignorance. No way, wouldn't that be ruining his life? Sis, if you don't ruin his life, you'll ruin the whole family's. My brother chimed in, his tone, as if it were only natural. If you don't marry him for the bride price, how am I supposed to scrape together enough money to marry Meng Sun? Seeing my reluctance, my mother grabbed me and started wailing. We raised you so big. For pity's sake, think of us before you die. We've scraped together everything we could for the money Meng Sun's family wants, but even including this house, we're still 500,000 short. The three of them surrounded me, talking over each other. Sis, we're one step away from striking it rich. Do you want to see all our efforts go to waste? Exactly. Use what's left of your life to secure your brother's future riches. That would make you our benefactor, accumulating merit for us. I'm your father. I say you marry, so you marry. If you don't expect your ashes to be buried in our family plot after you die. Their faces were twisted, closing in on me. I finally gave the answer they wanted, fine, I'll marry. Su Xiangyang had been boasting to his mother. Mom, didn't I tell you that woman never got over me? Look how quickly we got back together. Now she's practically begging to marry me. But when he came to my house to discuss the marriage, he hadn't even gotten comfortable in his chair before he jumped up in shock. Holy shit, how much? 500,000? His face twisted as the words slipped out. You're raising a daughter just to sell her. My father sneered, putting on airs. So what? You think my daughter isn't worth this price? Fine, if you look down on my sister, then we're not family. I'll tell Meng Sun not to bother recommending you for that job. My brother grabbed his phone, pretending to make a call. My mother chimed in. Everyone knows our Tianrui is capable, landed a rich daughter-in-law. Plenty of people want to hitch their wagon to our star now. If you're not sincere, forget it. We'll see who needs whom. Hearing this, Su Xiangyang sat back down, his face turning very ugly. The job market was tough, and his company was hinting at layoffs. Not long ago, I had intentionally arranged for Meng Sun to run into him. Recommend a job? Oh, it's nothing. We're practically family now, it's the least I can do. As it happens, my dad's company has a branch office that needs a department manager. It matches your expertise. The annual salary, let's see, probably around $1 million or so. If you think that's too low, I can pull some strings and add another 200,000 or 300,000, no problem. Su Xiangyang's current job was low pay with lots of work, and he constantly worried about being fired. How could he pass up this opportunity? After thinking it over, he finally gritted his teeth. Fine. I'll pay. Su Xiangyang wanted to get the marriage certificate first and then pay the bride price. When Meng Sun found out, she immediately threw a tantrum with my brother. Didn't I tell you from the start? My family's business is all about feng shui and luck. If your sister gets her marriage certificate before me, all the good fortune will be sucked away. Our marriage will leak wealth. Sobbing, she stormed out, slamming the door. Woo-woo, I can see your family just favors your sister. You want her to steal my thunder. Since your whole family disrespects me, let's just call it quits. How could they let their cash cow slip away? He coaxed and pleaded until Meng Sun came back. Then, together with my parents, they used threats and on Su Xiangyang. In the end, they actually managed to swindle the 500,000 bride price out of him. We're family now. Su Xiangyang felt pain inside but flattered my brother. Brother-in-law, I'll be counting on you and my sister-in-law to help me out in the future. My brother counted the money happily and gave him a meaningful smile. Don't worry. As long as my sister is alive, Meng Sun and I will help however we can. My brother and parents had gambled everything to marry into wealth. With the bride price in hand, they quickly sold the house too. Why keep this cramped little apartment in this rundown neighborhood when our rich daughter-in-law has given us a villa? So, the three of them happily moved into the new house. With the jade stone secured and Meng Sun's wealthy father agreeing to the marriage, they immediately started busily preparing for the wedding. After all, even with the meat in your mouth, you still need to bite down and swallow it to feel secure. Busy with the wedding plans, my brother overworked himself. Standing for any length of time made him break out in a cold sweat, and his lips gradually lost their color. I advised him that something was wrong. Your symptoms are pretty similar to mine. Maybe you should get a checkup. He looked at me like I was crazy. Get lost. Don't say such unlucky things. Who do you think you are, with your short life? My mother suddenly reached over and twisted my ear. Too. Do you want to die? Cursing your brother with your crow's mouth like this. With such a nasty mouth, no wonder you got cancer. God is taking you. I could only shut up. Sigh, I gave them their last chance. Since they couldn't take a hint, don't blame me for what comes next. When the medical report first came out, the doctor said this cancer was rare. If treated before the onset, the chances of cure were still high. But once it manifests, the body deteriorates almost instantly. It could even lead to overnight paralysis or a vegetative state. Moreover, this cancer is most aggravated by fatigue. Patients absolutely must not overexert themselves, or the probability of onset increases dramatically. About 2 weeks later, my brother had just returned home after finalizing wedding details with the banquet hall. He walked towards the fridge to get a bottle of water. After taking a couple of slow steps, he suddenly collapsed on the floor, unconscious. My parents were horrified. They quickly called an ambulance and rushed him to the hospital for emergency treatment. They paced back and forth outside the resuscitation room, frantic with worry. As soon as the doctor came out, my parents rushed over. Doctor, what's the situation?